So, Mark, it's the age-old traveler's problem. You've landed at a new airport, you look out the windows, and they're loading the baggage off of the plane, and they're throwing it, they're trashing it, they're doing everything to it. Don't they know that we can see them?
Yeah, I mean, maybe in the 80s where there wasn't cell phones so you could videotape and all that stuff, I get it, but this is kind of crazy this day and age. I understand the stuff's heavy, but why not move the cart, position it a little bit better so you're not just tossing them on the ground? These are expensive golf clubs. It's a college golf team. Like, if you break one of those, it can ruin their tournament. So it's kind of nuts, but that's why I'm Team Carry On, man.
Great anger management, though. Can you imagine those guys? They don't need therapy or anything. They get everything out on those bags through the course of their day. It has to be great.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, look at these jerks. They pack these heavy golf clubs and whipping them extra hard just because they're so mad about it when that's just the job.
Who knows? Maybe a bent club will fix their slice.
Offset by Delta.
If you watched our episode over the weekend, The Origin of the Channel, we talked all about our backgrounds, and I talked about my upcoming trip where I was about to blow it all up, go to Europe, and I ended up in Hawaii, as you can see behind me, and then going to Japan. That was a lot of fun. What was interesting is I found business class space from Las Vegas to Frankfurt on Discover Airlines, which was a good deal. So we could have flown direct business class to exactly where we needed to go. But my wife wanted to go to Japan like we originally planned, found space at the Grand Hyatt Kauai, and we're flying the A380 on ANA, the Flying Hanu, that turtle A380 theme from Honolulu to Japan. 48,000 life miles one way in business class, found 3 tickets. That's a win.
Yeah, that's an awesome booking, and I know people love A&A business, so anytime you can get on that, it's a good one. And nobody wants to go to Frankfurt, Sean. Nobody. Like, no, it's the worst. The
I like
airport
Germany.
sucks.
Yeah, the airport does
Yeah,
suck, but I like Germany.
yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that.
So we're spending 4 nights at the Grand Hyatt Kauai. I've stayed here a few times before. It's a beautiful property. It's a Category 6 Hyatt, but some of the nights we're staying were prime nights, so we're $30K a night for those nights, $25K for some of them. Not the cheapest property in the world, but that's where you're going to get in Hawaii, no matter which island you go to. I love this property a lot. And then in Tokyo, got some good redemptions. So all of the flights, everything paid for, miles and points. And the last little part was getting from Las Vegas to Hawaii. I used United Travel Bank from my American Express Platinum credits. So it all worked out. Miles and points to the rescue for this last minute trip saved.
Now, was it economy on United?
Yeah, unfortunately. Had I had any status, there was 7 open first class seats that they upgraded people into. So if I had a decent amount of status, I would have gotten upgraded, but no status with United as of now. But they did give us free premium economy because we didn't pick seats, and then they had to give us those seats for free. So that was nice. Extra legroom, great flight. So no complaints. I'm in Hawaii. I'm good.
Yeah, I know we're gonna do a bonus show on Hawaii, my trip and your trip, and talk about how you love it and how I might not love it so much. So it'll be interesting. We'll do that as a bonus show coming up soon.
The great Hawaii debate. I can't wait for this. And I've purposely told Mark not to tell me a lot of the stuff he's going to say. So I'll be triggered. My voice will be all high. You guys will want to see that when we do it. But in the meantime, let's move on to this week's news and increased credit card offers. And there was a ton of them this week, especially American Express. They had a few different of their offers, including Hilton and Marriott, come into their increased window. And starting with the Bonvoy Business Card, this is a great offer. It's one we've seen before, but this is basically the best that it's been. And it's 5 free nights after you use the card to make $8,000 in purchases in the first 6 months. And these nights are good at properties up to 50,000 points. This is a hugely valuable bonus.
Yeah, if you can maximize it, it's worth up to 250,000 points. And then you can top those off up to 15,000 points per night with whatever balance you have in your Bonvoy account. So technically could be up to a 65,000 point room. The catch is they're only good for a year once you earn them versus points, which you can keep basically forever as long as you keep it going. So, that's the trade-off. You have to have some type of travel in the next year that has properties in the 50K to 65K or below level. It's a great offer. Don't dive in just expecting to be able to use this easily. Make sure you have a plan. But if you have a plan, man, this thing is more valuable than some airline offers and stuff like that out there.
Yeah, it's great, but a great point about free night certificates. And don't be afraid, like if you don't have a lot of travel and you're not sure what you're going to use, don't be afraid to take offers, whether it's this one or a different one, that do not have the free night certificates, because it's very hard to get them extended. A lot of people do lose out. That's sort of the secret. Nobody wants to admit that, but we've all lost a free night certificate. I don't care who you are. So yeah, be careful about that. But the potential value there is great. $125 annual fee on that one is not waived the first year. And then moving to Hilton, there's a couple increased offers on the Hilton American Express cards. The no annual fee card has a 70K offer plus a free night certificate. This is another crazy offer because those free night certificates are good at any Hilton worldwide. And that's after only $2,000 in spend, no annual fee on that one. They did this before where they added these free nights. So this is not new where we've never seen this, but this is, again, about as good as it gets.
Yeah, that'll get you 2 nights. I mean, the 70K plus what you earn, 2 nights at a top tier property with the free night cert plus the points. And no annual fee is nice. If you're anti-annual fee right now, hopefully over the weeks, months, years will teach you the annual fees are worth it. But if you are and you want to kind of dip your toe, this is something that you could look at. It's elevated. You can only get these offers once. So you definitely want to get it at the peak, so that's why this one's good. And then the Surpass is a great offer that we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, I love the Surpass card. This is one of the more popular Hilton cards out there. Very similar. So instead of 70, they're giving you 130K Hilton points plus the free night certificate, and you have to spend $3,000 on that offer in the first 6 months. And that has a $150 annual fee. So you're paying a little bit more, but that card is stacked with a lot more benefits. Plus you're getting even more on the welcome offer too.
This is my favorite Hilton card, one of my favorite American Express cards. They just added where you get a $50 credit every, quarter that you can use on property. If you bill stuff back to your room or you pay the room rate, you get that. So you actually get $200 back for a $150 annual fee. If you buy a gift card off their website, that counts and triggers it too. So there's a little tip for you. So that's great. And then you can earn another free night cert if you spend 15K on it, earn 6X points in a whole bunch of categories like gas, restaurants, groceries. It's really a great card. And after they kind of killed their business card, this is the best one that you can get in the Hilton family and one of the better Amex cards out there.
And hopefully the way Mark laid that out shows you why maybe you do want to pay an annual fee. In this case, you're going to get a better welcome offer, but the card benefits often will outweigh the fee, especially if you're looking at it. In the case of this card, that's especially true. Now, you can't get the welcome offer on these cards if you've had them before, but most people will be eligible. The nice thing about American Express too, I just ran into this last week, is when you do apply, it will tell you if you've had the card before and if you're not eligible before they run your credit or do anything. So that's always nice if you're not sure.
Yeah, that's a great perk of this. And we should also mention the Surpass gets you gold status with Hilton, which will get you, $15 to $25 per person up to 2 people every time you stay per day that you can use on the resort. So if you stay at Hilton's, a couple times a year, it will pay for itself.
And the last offer really quick, Chase Aeroplan. They have a 70K public offer, but then there's a separate landing page for this 100,000 point offer. Aeroplan points can be worth quite a lot. They're part of Star Alliance, so a lot of airlines all over the world that they work. I love their website, one of the better ones as well. This card comes with pay yourself back to a $95 annual fee. And the 100,000, here's how it works. You get 70,000 after you spend 4,000 in the first 3 months, and then 30,000 if you spend another 20,000 on the card, or 20,000 total. So I guess that would include the earlier spend. It's a lot to go for, a lot of spend. I think the Hilton offers are better, but I could see some people liking this one.
Yeah, I think this is, a little bit more niche, but a lot of people love the program and it offers you value. It's probably the best airline earning card, earns 3X on grocery and stuff like that. So you can rack up the miles a little bit better than normally the 1 or 2X that you get on like an AA card or United card, stuff like that. So that's nice. And then, like you said, the pay yourself back. If you want a little bit easier use, you can just book travel and then wipe it out. I think it's 1.25 cents per point. So you can do it that way. You'll definitely earn more using it to book partners. You can book like United flights with it and stuff. You'll get more value there. But if you just kind of want easy, then that's an option too, that you can get more for your points than you normally would.
So let's move on to some hotel stuff, and specifically the Eliza Jane in Nolans. I've stayed at Eliza Jane, really like the hotel. It's this boutique hotel in New Orleans, near the Harrah's, near French Quarter, pretty good location. But they've been doing this tricky thing for a little bit of time now where they're adding a credit card surcharge onto the bill. This isn't disclosed by Hyatt. This isn't disclosed on their website. They're just doing it. This is a case of Hyatt telling them to stop, and they're still doing it. And when I stayed at this hotel, I had the rudest front desk agent I've ever encountered, or one of the rudest. Everything else of the property went fine. It's just he was very unfriendly to not only me, but to other customers who were in front of me. There's a lot of weird things about this property as far as reviews and things that have happened, but there's no room for this. Get rid of this charge. Be good to your customers. Stop hiding stuff. Disclose it on the booking site if you want to charge something like this.
Yeah, and it's so cheap. It's like 1.85%. Like, how much is that really going to add to your bottom line when you're hitting. I mean, you're not getting it on award stays, so you're getting it on cash paid stays, and you're just potentially upsetting customers for life for a small gain. Like, we're talking like $5 to $10 per bill. I know that adds up over time with, hundreds of rooms and stuff like that, but still, it's just, it feels so petty. Hyatt's been aware of the issue. They said that they were going to tell them to stop. It's against their terms, and they still haven't done it. So I'm assuming that they're going to get kicked out of the program at some point if they keep this up. And, is that worth it? Maybe they can find another program that doesn't care as much. Bonvoy. But I don't know. It's a bad look. And don't you want people to pay credit cards? Most places don't even take cash anymore for hotel stays.
Yeah, you're talking about stays in hotels that can be thousands of dollars. Like, do you really want people to be bringing cash to your front desk? They know nobody's going to bring cash. That's why they're adding it. It's a shame because this is the best Hyatt in New Orleans. I know you've stayed at the Centric, which is probably a little bit of a better location if you're looking for the French Quarter and stuff. But this is a much nicer hotel, I think, than the Centric. I've stayed at both. I love the property. I hope that it does better. They need new management, new employees, but the physical building is beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a great option. Everybody that stayed there, we had a meetup a couple years ago there, and they all loved it. Centric was, it was okay. It wasn't anything great, but I was kind of looking forward to staying at Eliza Jane. But now because of this, even if they correct it, I won't stay there because anybody that does that type of stuff is going to play games elsewhere, and it's just not worth it to me.
So one of American Express's better deals of the last few years is back. And I mean, this has been around where they're offering membership rewards to sign up for their business checking account, but they now have a 70,000 membership reward targeted offer. So you have to see if you're targeted for this, but you can earn 70,000 membership rewards. Remember, that's worth at least $700, but probably significantly more than that. If you open a business checking account and you've never had one before, you have to deposit $15,000 in the account within 30 days. It has to stay there for 60 days, and then you need to do 5 qualifying transactions. I just did a few deposits into the account. It all worked great. I did $50K back when I did it. This is an amazing deal.
Yeah, I think that even like the trial deposits to set up the account to link to other checking accounts ended up counting towards these. Hopefully you get like a little tracker. They used to pop up. Some people got them, some people didn't. That shows like when you've done all the things you need to do. So that's cool before you get the bonus. And then the bonus posts a little like within 30 days after all that, the time frame's gone through and everything. So it's such a great bonus. They're transferable points, which is cool. They'll go right into your pot of other Amex membership rewards points. So this is as good as it gets. I'd check. There's a link to check, and you just log in and it tells you if you can do it or not. And if you can't, but you're interested, I would wait until you get like a 50K like Sean did. I think I got 30K for myself and 50K for my wife. So everybody was excited when it was 30K.
Yeah, because $300, that's a really good bonus. $500 or more, it's a good deal. At 70K, it makes perfect sense to do this. Don't wait. But then it'll be 100K mark, and then everybody we told to do it at 70K will be upset with us. So I don't know, but This is a good deal if you want those points. This next story is weird and insane. American Airlines was sued for this 9-year-old finding this recording device inside a lavatory put there by a flight attendant. Flight attendant escorted the child when they were looking for the bathroom to a specific lavatory. There's a picture showing this camera in there. And American Airlines had a weird PR thing where they sort of blamed the child for this, saying that the child was negligent and not, I guess using the bathroom when they knew there was a device in there that they discovered. This whole story is strange, and American doesn't look very good doing it, but the flight attendant doesn't work for them anymore.
Yeah, this is disgusting. I don't even know how does this work? Did he only do it when he would walk the child there and then get it all set up before they got it? Because if you just left it in there, somebody that's an adult's going to walk and be like, what the hell is this? Like the lights on, everything. It's very obvious. So it's a weird thing. So it must have been like maybe minors flying by themselves, and he was in charge of them. So when they had to go to the bathroom, they would ask him, and he would, be like, oh, let me check the bathroom first, something along those lines. But I wouldn't expect any kid, even if they noticed it, they're probably not going to be, they're going to be afraid to say, hey, what's going on here? That type of thing. My 9-year-old was scared to order a Coke in a restaurant. They're not going to bring it up to a flight attendant.
Yeah, this is just disgusting and saddening. And just a reminder, there's sickos everywhere. And, to watch your kids, I'm glad that this child saw the device, took the picture, was able to share this, and at least stop the cycle of who knows how many kids he did this to or how often this happened. Man, and what a terrible story. It's not one that you like to see as somebody who travels with kids all the time. And oh man, it's just terrible.
Yeah, now you feel like you need to go to the bathroom before your kid does. But yeah, American Airlines, they should just come out and said, "Hey, we fired the guy. This is disgusting. We're gonna do whatever we need to make it right." That's all you have to say, and people would be like cool with it. But and they say the lawyer misfiled it or whatever. But still, like that's corporate culture to let this thing slide through that you would try to blame it to get out of it. It's just crazy.
Settle the lawsuit, American. He worked for you, and that's just not okay. What's also not okay, there's too much American Express here, Mark, but their gold card. I mean, the one thing we've seen American Express do aggressively over the last few years is raise annual fees. And I guess that goes along with all the inflation and everything else getting more expensive. But the gold card, I guess it's not really a rumor because we're starting to see some documents showing this. The annual fee was $250, it's going up to $325. And like I said, not confirmed as far as I know, but also there's been some documents that we've seen with it, meaning that this change is coming. We don't know if they're going to add extra benefits or perks. Generally, they've done that when they've raised fees. So we'll see.
Yeah, and more coupons for the coupon books. Amex loves those, loves the breakage and all that stuff. So, and I think they said in their most recent quarterly review with the investors and stuff, they said that they were going to be raising fees across the board. So they already have like some of the highest fees out there. They're pretty much top. They're the first ones to push it up in each segment, whether it's high tier cards, mid-tier cards, or low-tier cards. Like they're just always up in the game and ante, and usually the benefits mathematically work out that they offset the increases, but they're getting more and more difficult to use, and they're just a pain in the butt. Like I'm so tired of cycling through cards to use $20 credits every month. It's just annoying.
Amen to that. I am tired of it too. And we call it the coupon book. There's so much breakage, and there are credits I lose just because I don't want to have to juggle. I don't want to have to juggle all of this stuff. And yeah, so we'll see what they do with this. I'm not happy with higher annual fees. You know, you said earlier in the show, sometimes you have to pay an annual fee. That makes sense. That is true. I pay a lot of annual fees, but seeing them go up and up and up and up, and I'm not really getting more benefit without having to do a lot of extra work to do it. That doesn't work for me. I don't know at what point this needs to stop because American Express, their numbers have to show them that this is working because they are doing this across all of their cards.
Yeah, they just did it with the business gold not too long ago. So, Delta cards, everything like that. So, this is their game plan. And they're different from other banks. Like, credit cards is all they really have for the most part. They're starting to dip their toes into other things. But this is like the driver. Swipe fees are like the driver of their profits and then annual fees. So, and a lot of times they get these discounts to offset the annual fees for their members so that they can promote that. But they're also getting them at a discount or free. Like, these credits are coming from these brands and the brands are paying them to try to get new customers. So it's not really costing them anything. So I get why they're doing it. It just sucks for us.
So this last story comes from our friend Gary at View from the Wing, talking about getting that extra seat. We all know like some bigger people need to buy extra seats and the airlines account for that. They all have different systems and ways of doing that. But on a recent international flight, somebody had their seat canceled. So they had somebody else buy their seats for them. There was a group of three women, and the person bought four seats for them to give them a little bit of extra space. And the flight attendant basically took somebody, put them in the seat, told the people that it was illegal to buy an extra seat for yourself on an international flight, and then somehow the rest of their itinerary got canceled. Gary says he thinks that the computer automatically canceled it because they never scanned in the extra seat. Who knows what happened, but it's not illegal to buy an extra seat for an international flight, although there are rules.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that you can do pretty much on any airline. It just, they make it difficult, which I don't understand. You should be able to just put your name on both seats if you're selecting, like check a box that says, yes, I do want a second seat. You think, in 2024 we'd have that down, and we've seen Southwest and some other airlines for larger passengers just say like, hey, contact us and we'll make an empty seat next to you free of charge. So the fact that people are trying to pay for these and are having issues kind of blows my mind a bit. Like, who cares what they do with the seat if they buy it? You should make this easy to do. But a lot of times, because so many people, so many flights go without anybody doing this, they just don't know how to handle it, or they're not used to it. They haven't seen it. And frontline employees, as we've seen with banks, airlines, hotels, they really don't know the rules and they don't know what they can and cannot do. So a lot of times we're going in there as travelers knowing more than them, and that can be a frustrating experience.
Dealing with flight attendants is a frustrating experience. This has been sort of my soapbox that I've stood on the last few years. There is no accountability for flight attendants, meaning they can do whatever they want to the passenger. They have the law on your side. If you don't comply, they'll kick you off the plane. And when they do stuff like this and it's their fault and they over escalate these things, we've seen videos after videos after videos, there is nobody to answer to. There's no management taking them back in. There's nobody saying, did you go too far in exercising your authority here? We don't know if that's the case, but I do wonder why more people don't buy second seats. You're right. I think they sort of minimize it so people don't do it. And then you have like budget airlines like, Frontier or Spirit that sell the seat really cheap and then they hope for all the ancillary revenue. So I don't know how that would work for them. You don't earn mileage usually on an extra seat. You don't have a baggage allowance, so they can sell that as cargo space. So it does benefit the airlines in some ways, but I don't know. There's a lot of times where the fee is cheap enough. I would buy a second seat just to guarantee an empty middle and do that instead of, flying in the front or whatever. So I feel like there could be an opportunity here, but I think they lose more money from not selling that seat to somebody else and getting their baggage charges and everything else.
Yeah, we call that poor man's first class when you have that middle seat. It's almost as good as having first class because you got that extra space. You have another room to put, like, you can put your bag under that middle seat and not have it blocking your feet and still have access to everything. So I love it when that happens. If I could do it, I would do it. Especially, you love flying Frontier on those $20 flights. If you could easily book an extra seat to make it empty, they would sell out quicker, but then people would complain about that. So I don't know. The way flights are so full, I can see why they don't push it more, but I wish it was easier to do.
The funny thing about Frontier is they have the European business class model now. The first two rows of their airplane, the middle seat is empty. So they're selling it like that. So maybe we'll see more creative ways to do this in the future from the airlines. But let us know in the comments, would you buy a second seat if it was easier? We're not talking about because you need the space, just because you want to guarantee that empty middle. Maybe it's cheaper than paying for a bigger seat up front. Let us know what you think about that. The increased offers, that crazy American Airlines story, everything else we talked about today. Leave a comment. We do a show every Wednesday, sometimes bonus shows on the weekend. We're still a new channel. Really could appreciate your support. Subscribe, leave comments, thumbs up the videos, share with friends. Let them know 20 minutes an episode could change your life.
Yes, it could. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe. We appreciate all of you.
That should be our new tagline. 20 minutes an episode could change your life. Maybe. We're not sure, but hopefully.